end with Christian Miller taking him down.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with New York Giants legend and South Carolina Hall of Famer Corey Miller and his son, four-time SEC champion and two-time national champion Christian Miller.
And knocked down again. It was Christian Miller.
Here is college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. Definitely got plenty to dive into as we continue to break down this whole Alabama-Georgia matchup. Again, we've been talking plenty about it, but we've got plenty more to talk about. We'll be joined by the pastor of Payne at some point today. He's going to hop on here. Definitely want to get his thoughts on this matchup. I know he has a lot to say there. You guys have been asking about him, wondering where he's been at. And he's been busy, been handling his church stuff. Again, he's back to preaching pretty much full time, as you can see right there on the stream, 1334 Church right there in Greenville. But he'll be on here today talking some football. And tomorrow we're expected to be joined by SEC Network's very own Roman Harper, and we'll break down this matchup with him there as well. Slade, we were going to postpone, and maybe it still happens, but he probably is going to be out of the country. Not probably, he will be out of the country for the rest of the week. So if we can kind of get that rescheduled, we will. But if not, no worries. We definitely should be good to go next week for Slade segments right here on the show. So make sure you guys stay in tune for all that good stuff. In other news, in terms of what else has been going on, well, obviously last night, I know we got the spoiler in terms of Alabama's three annual opponents, but we didn't have the full schedule. Remember, this was a full schedule release, meaning for 26, 27, 28, and 29, all respective seasons, we got the full schedule. So I'm going to pull those up on the screen. We come back and we'll discuss it a little bit because I know some people were talking about the LSU matchup not being the annual one, but clearly was on there like we thought at least twice. And some other good matchups that I'm excited for, which pretty much you play everybody over the course of 4 years, which is great. But you already know home and away and all that good stuff. So I just want to at least take a quick little dive over at those schedules for the next following years and see what you guys think, kind of gauge it. Now, obviously, teams can change over the course of 4 years, but obviously, I feel like, you can kind of have an idea on what to expect. And I'll just say this, man, just looking at some of the matchups that Alabama is going to have over the next 4 years, man, it doesn't really get any easier, man. So you know what you're getting when you sign up to play at Alabama. You're going to play the best of the best. So that's just part of playing in the SEC, especially given the fact that you also have now added an extra SEC game to every schedule. So we'll definitely dive into that. Yesterday, we had some players speak to the media post-practice. Definitely want to pod some of those up. Ty Simpson spoke to the media. We're going to listen to that. Deontay Lawson also spoke to the media, so we'll probably give those a play. We didn't get to hear – actually, we did. We did end up finishing on Ryan Grubb. It was only a few short minutes, so maybe we'll kind of rerun that just to kind of highlight it because we didn't get to respond really. It was at the end of the show, so I know we've got that. But that's pretty much what we've got on tap for you guys, at least Bama-related to cover. So, again, we're going to deep dive into Georgia some more, talk a little bit about the schedule that was officially released last night and move from there. In other news and notes around the league, there's some big news that came out. I know Reed and Chase had mentioned it before we hopped on here, and I saw it yesterday and said, dang, that's unfortunate. Not for us, but for Oklahoma. Their starting quarterback, John Mateer, who's been playing some really good football. Matter of fact, the most recent odds for the Heisman, I believe. Well, actually, I don't think they're official. I think it might have been from On3 from what I saw. But a lot of people were having him as one of the Heisman favorites, playing some really good football for Oklahoma. And most recently defeating Auburn this past weekend. But unfortunately, he sustained an injury to his right hand, which will require surgery. Now, the expectation is that he will return at some point in the season. I don't think there is an official timetable right now. However, his return is expected at some point. Now, will it be in time for when Alabama faces Oklahoma when they travel to Tuscaloosa? I don't know. We'll see. But definitely a huge blow for an Oklahoma team that was definitely trending upwards, coming off a big win over Auburn. And a lot of people were thinking they could maybe be a surprise team that could make a push. Florida was kind of that team early on that people thought could be a surprise. The way they're playing, it's kind of, it is what it is. We already know they're not really going to be a contender. LSU hasn't been as impressive as some people thought. Texas definitely hadn't really been as impressive. So I'll be honest with you guys. You look at the SEC right now. I mean, you got Georgia. I mean, Tennessee looked pretty good against them. Alabama's making a return. Ole Miss not looking too bad. But I would say Oklahoma was definitely looking like a team that could maybe make a push. But with the loss of their starting quarterback, man, definitely a huge blow. Reed, man, what do you think about that? How do you think that affects Oklahoma? You think they can survive until he comes back, which might not be, could be, who knows, could be the middle of October. It could be even later. Do you think they survive until he gets back, Reed?
I really don't know. In my personal opinion, I kind of feel like that John Mateer was Oklahoma, at least their offensive side of the ball. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, we'll see this like first week without him, how they perform. The backup, I know their backup last year, I believe, transferred out. So this is going to be a new guy that's kind of coming in, just kind of like Mateer. And so, yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to start treading down because of how much of an elite playmaker John Mateer was.
Yeah, no, I mean, and look, you're talking about the guy that was leading the conference through the first 4 weeks of action in passing yards with, I think he was averaging like 303 per game. So he was a leading passer in the conference before this injury. Now, again, he did play 4 games versus some others only playing 3 with the buys. But again, a lot of people had him as one of the top quarterbacks in college football right now. So tough blow for Oklahoma. But I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know too much about the backup myself, but we'll have to see, man. If they can hold it together till he gets back, maybe. But I was trying to pull up their schedule real quick, but I don't know. But I guess if you're an Alabama fan, when you view that news, it kind of feels like, all right, man, it feels like maybe you can breathe a little bit because we know, you got Georgia this week. You've got Vanderbilt coming to town the following week, which I heard somebody, I forgot where the clip came from, but basically just kind of just trashing Vanderbilt like they're just a nobody. And I'm kind of surprised that people are still taking that, I guess, approach with a team like Vanderbilt, given how they played us last year, what they've been doing thus far. I mean, they played, really well against South Carolina. Granted, South Carolina's been a little iffy, through this first part of the season already, but still, you can't sleep on these teams, man, especially in the SEC, especially ones that have proven like Vanderbilt, right? They get Diego Pavia, they're bringing some new coaches, and they're a different team, man, and they're hungry, right? I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to me with Vanderbilt right now. They're hungry. It's not the same old Vanderbilt we've seen in the past. You could have said maybe it was a one-time thing last year, but so far this year, they've continued where they left off last year. So Bama's got their work cut out for them, and it starts this weekend, which we'll definitely continue to discuss. Again, traveling to Athens, man. Georgia team with a 33-win game streak at home between the hedges. My secondary school, if I didn't come here, it's where I would have gone, Reed. I don't know if I told you guys that. I told you guys a story about me wearing 34, but it's where I would have gone when I was coming out of high school, man. It was down to Alabama and Georgia. I was committed to Florida. Briefly, I decommitted, but then it was really down to Georgia and Alabama, man. I really like Coach Richt. He was awesome when I was getting recruited. And a matter of fact, I reached out to one of my close friends throughout my recruitment process who I almost teamed up with at Georgia, and his name is Jeb Blazevich. He ended up playing tight end there. And I think we're going to get him on the show hopefully Friday when he's got some time to help preview this matchup from the Georgia perspective. But, yeah, man, almost ended up at Georgia, but thank God I ended up here. That being said. Yeah. No, listen, real quick before we hit this timeout. Basically what it was, I looked at Alabama. I like the system here. I loved the whole idea of playing for Coach Saban. I loved everything that the program was doing. Obviously, it's the University of Alabama. But then I looked at Georgia like, all right, Georgia's a good program. They're a little bit closer. It's about half the distance. Alabama's about 6 hours or so from where I'm from. Georgia's about 3 and some change. So I was like, all right, it's a little bit closer, right? I knew they had guys like Leonard Floyd, those outside linebackers that kind of resembled how I played, athletic guys that they let, get after it off the edge in a 3-4 defense. So I like that. And really, I don't know. I think that those are like the main things, really. The coaching staff was cool, the scheme, and then the proximity to where I was from. So it was tough. I'm not going to lie. It was a tough decision, but ultimately I just couldn't pass up playing for Coach Saban, University of Alabama. So I ended up here. But anyway, I always like this matchup because of that, because I think back on that. These are the two teams I really about came down to. And obviously we know the history in the last, 10 years or so between these two programs. Going back further than that, really. But still, just knowing that I think in the last 10 years, I mean, it's either been pretty much Georgia or Alabama responsible for the SEC championship. So always a great matchup and looking forward to it. And we're going to keep talking about it today and throughout the rest of the week until we get to Saturday. That way you guys are all ready for this matchup. Again, Alabama traveling to Athens. We'll break it down, continue to talk about it and more right here on the Miller's Edge. When we come back after this quick timeout. Again, we are presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. I'll tell you a little bit about them when we come back right here. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
Hey, this is Wyatt Fulton from.
What's up, Jake? Ryan, what's going on? From Prattville, sad news about Mateer. Yeah, he was playing really well. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I wonder when it happened, because I mean, I don't recall him. I mean, I know I did. I think I missed like the last few moments of the game, but I mean, did he like come out or anything, or was it something that maybe he just hit his hand on the helmet? Because I think I really missed like the last couple minutes, but I didn't see anything. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe it was literally right when I walked away from the TV. Maybe it was clear. They said it was early in the game. He just kept going. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say I didn't see it. I was like, I know I missed like the last couple of minutes. I think I had jumped in the shower or something, but did in the first quarter, yeah. You might need to call in and explain what you mean. What did you say, Q06? I only see one message from him. What did you say? Okay, yeah, he never left the game. All right, I was about to say maybe I'm tripping, but I never saw him leave. Oh, that's the big one we need to hit. Talk about the injury. Thank you, Julian, for reminding that. Jarian Latham's injury, yeah. Scary stuff, man. ¿Qué lo que compax? Y voy a hacer lo que me dijiste ayer, después de terminar de hacer este programa. Kirby Smart's rat poison. Yeah, Q, you might have to call in, bro. I'm not too sure. What you're talking about, him hyping Ty up? Yeah, Kenji, what's up? Where should we start, guys? Should we start with this Ty Simpson interview? Austin, what's up, man? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Oh, we got to hit the schedule first. Let's do the schedule. Explicar. Pero ¿quieres explicar qué? Hay otro hispanohablante aquí en los comentarios, así que puedes practicar con él. Su nombre es Compax. Es de la República Dominicana. Did you get to practice this morning? How's the energy? Man, I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't. I swear I'll try to get out there tomorrow. I didn't even get to go out there like I wanted to. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had a lot going on at my house. I had cleaning basically the whole thing. So unfortunately I didn't get to get out there like I wanted to. But nonetheless, man. No, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I'll definitely try to get up there tomorrow, though. Definitely going to try to do that. We do have Hey Coach tonight, so if you guys are interested, again, that's at Baumhauer's. Yeah, we'll start with the schedule. Then we'll get to Ty. Yeah, Q, are you just talking about when Kirby was talking about Ty Simpson? I don't think that was rat poison, man. I think you're just being honest.
in a haystack. Sure, you can post.
I think he was just being honest. Let me just go ahead and throw this up here. All right, that doesn't work like that. Let me see if I can find a bigger one. And in terms of Oklahoma's schedule, they've got Kent State, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, at Alabama in the middle of November. I don't know, man. They might be able to survive without him. Excuse me. They might be all right. Depending on when he comes back. I mean, I guess Texas and Ole Miss, but if he's back by November, I mean, to go on the road to Tennessee, then on the road to Alabama would be ideal. But I guess we'll see.
And they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax relief advocates.
Guess we'll see. Damn, it's a long break, and it's like 6 minutes breaks. Goodness.
Or with your kids, no matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9219.
Don't lose
I
hope.
think it's always on a
TRA
Wednesday.
can
I feel like the
eliminate or
breaks are long on
reduce
a
what
Wednesday.
you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have
All
over
right.
1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't
Chadwin,
need to be
what's
afraid
up?
of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by
What young
visiting us
defensive player are
online
you
at
most excited about?
TRA.com or
Uh,
call
You mean like in general,
800-550-9219.
like
That's
in the future, or do you mean like this game,
800-550-9219.
or
Advocates. Real solutions for
if you
real
mean in
people.
general?
This is Miller's Edge on Tide
Hold on, I'll answer that.
100.9.
And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. All right, let's hit on a couple things before we really dive into some other stuff here. All right, number one, big shout out to Julene here in the chat. She gave us a reminder about one big piece of news that had dropped yesterday in terms of an injury at practice, which I know you guys are probably gasping for air because there's just been so many, I wouldn't say so many, but obviously we've had a handful of practice injuries this season so far. Obviously, Jan Miller with the collarbone, and then with Tim Keenan, drawing a blank, with a high ankle sprain. But yesterday, some scary news coming out that Jarian Laam actually had been transported to UAB, right, the hospital in Birmingham, for further evaluation after suffering a neck injury, which is definitely something, you know, when you hear about neck injuries in football, man, I mean, it definitely makes you, sit back for a second, right? But fortunately, it's being reported that, he's got all motion and feelings in all his extremities, which is amazing news. And I'm sure they're going to continue to kind of monitor it, make sure he's back to full strength. But first and foremost, before we were talking about getting back on the football field, definitely just, praying for his full recovery, just in general, right? I mean, we all love the game of football, but at the end of the day, it's all about really, your health, because for the long run, right? Football, you play until if you're blessed, right? Mid 30s is, you're talking about an over a decade career professionally. Hell, you still got a whole another 50 plus to go, if God willing. So that's what's most important. But again, sustained that neck injury in practice yesterday. He's got all feelings in his legs and extremities. So I guess we'll keep you guys updated on anything that comes from that. But in terms of what does that mean, the question also was, she offered her prayers, number one, but she offered, I also asked kind of, does that have an effect on this weekend? Well, I would say yes, in terms of that rotation at the Wolf position. Again, he had swapped from playing Bandit more so last year, which you see LT Overton play, Jordan Renaud, those guys, over to the Wolf position. And he was more of like that starter in the base, right? Or when they would go to their like 12 personnel, their 3-4 personnel, when they would see like 12 personnel, right? Having a bigger body out there at the outside linebacker position. So the biggest difference there would probably be that. And I just assume that Yonze Pierre just immediately steps up, right? Who's been playing a lot. I mean, it really was Quay Rousseau, then in first, second down type situations where you do need two backers out there. You'd see Jam Latham out there. Now you just bump Yonze Pierre up. So just probably some more snaps for Yonze Pierre is probably the biggest change there. So I don't think that's the biggest effect on what we're doing defensively. But again, obviously, we're just worried about his general health right now, which again seems to be as good as you can hope when you suffer an injury like that. Now I don't know in terms of long term what they're expecting, but the biggest thing is he's got full feeling and full motion after suffering that neck injury in practice, which definitely is a scary thing, man. That being said, the other thing I wanted to go ahead and hit on before we really dive into some stuff is and go to the phone lines. We got Q06 over there. We're going to get him when we come back from this quick timeouts. But the schedule, I got it pulled up on the stream again. If you guys haven't already, check us out on YouTube at The Miller's Edge. You can watch us do the show live again, completely free. All we do is ask you to drop us, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But here you have it, right? So the 26, 27, and 28, 29 season schedule again. The three annual opponents being Auburn, Tennessee, and Mississippi State, right? We've already discussed that. But here you see the upcoming schedules. And there you go. You've got for 2026, right? You've got the annual opponents, obviously, in Auburn, Mississippi State, and Tennessee. But then you've also still got Georgia, South Carolina. You add Texas A&M, who we haven't played in a couple years now. Kentucky, right? LSU is still on there. And then you've got Vanderbilt. So looking at that 26 schedule, I mean, given, these teams continue to be about where they're at. I mean, Auburn, probably we'll see where they end up at. They've been playing pretty decent so far this year. Tennessee, right? Georgia, you know what you're getting out of them. South Carolina, Texas A&M, Kentucky, LSU, Vanderbilt. So compared to kind of what we've seen this year in the past year, I would say it's about what you'd expect, right? 27, you got Auburn, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida, adding them in there. Haven't seen them in quite some time. Missouri, Texas, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. 28, you've got Auburn, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Kentucky, LSU, Vanderbilt, Georgia, South Carolina, Texas A&M. So if I'm not mistaken, pretty much what you saw out of 26, just flipping around kind of when you play these teams, and then 29, same thing for 27, respectively. So looking at that, I think that's a pretty solid schedule. I like the fact that you see, like, again, we've already had this, that we've gotten rid of the divisions now for a couple of years, but the fact that you just rotate with all these teams and you get to play everybody, right? Big win for the fans, clearly, right? I mean, there's just a lot of good football being played. We're back to playing Ole Miss, get to play Florida again. It's been some time since we played them, right? That's always a cool matchup, especially, on the road, Alabama going to Florida. I don't think that's really happened a whole bunch. I know I played Florida when I was here several times, the SEC championship, and then also they came to Tuscaloosa in 2014, I believe. But yeah, Reed, you got any thoughts on the schedules that they released? I mean, I guess pretty much what you'd expect, but pretty solid groupings for Alabama. I don't think it seems overly complicated. I mean, would you say so, or think it's about what you'd expect?
It's about what I expect. The one thing that I did when I was watching it live, the game that I was actually interested in the most was Texas A&M coming to Bryant-Denny. Marcel Reed, he's still going to be, well, I would expect him to be their starting quarterback still. It's kind of iffy with the whole transfer portal era, but yeah. I don't know. I'm a big fan of his, and so I kind of want to see how he perform and at least be able to watch him in person, because I got to watch, when Jane Daniels came in town with LSU, watched him play, loved him. He went on to win the Heisman, So, I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, it's good to see them back on the schedule again. We were used to seeing them every year when we had the West Division. I haven't seen them, so nice to see them come back. And then Kentucky, no disrespect, but it's all right. LSU, Vanderbilt, we've been playing them. So, yeah, next year is not really too different. The only really new ones from the past 2 years would be Mississippi State and Texas A&M and Kentucky, right? So, yeah. And then I'm glad, in 27 we get Ole Miss back on the schedule. That's cool. And then Florida. So those are my thoughts. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts, but Jake has a good point. He says in 27 and 28 we'll have Ohio State as well. Definitely something to think about. That's if that series still goes on. Now, we know that people have started to cancel some of these series. I don't know if that one will be affected. Would it shock me if it is? No, right? I know at this point people are just trying to get into the playoffs. So I don't know. We'll see. Real quick before we hit this timeout, we got a question from Chadwin. He says, what young defensive player are you most excited about at Bama? Man, that's a good question. Sorry, I was going over the schedule. I didn't even have time to think about who I would pick for that. So let me think. Defensive line wise, I'm trying to think if there's anybody. I like Justin Hill. I think he's going to be a good player. Once he develops a little bit more and gets an opportunity. I think he just had, to me, again, an outside linebacker like I played, but I've been up there. I've talked to him a handful of times, man. He's got a good head on his shoulders, but he's got a lot of good tools to work with, man. I mean, in terms of, his physical tools, his stature, then just his athleticism, right? I mean, I think he looks impressive going through drills. I think once he just learns, picks up the system a little bit more and gets more and more reps, I think he's going to end up being a really good football player. So I got to throw him in there. Let's think of the next level. Linebacker, I mean, QB Reese has been playing some good football when he's gotten some opportunities. Secondary-wise, DJ Lee, I've been really big on him, since he got to campus. I mean, just working with a guy like that has, that those physical tools at the cornerback spot, the length that he has, but also having some, really good athleticism, his fluidity for a guy that tall is impressive. I think he's definitely going to be a really good football player. So just kind of off the top of my head, I mean, I'm just throwing those guys out there in terms of who I'm most excited for. And I'm sure there's probably a number of other guys that are going to end up being really good players as well. I'm just off the top of my head, that's who I got. But yeah, I'm sure I'll probably come up some more. But let's hit this let's hit this next time out when we come back. We'll go to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Q06. We got to hear from Ty Simpson, who spoke to the media yesterday previewing this Georgia matchup. He had a lot to say, so we'll definitely break that down. Deontay Lawson also speaking to the media. Plus, we'll continue to dive into this matchup. Probably throw some clips on the stream, so if you guys want to watch that, check us out at the Miller's Edge. And here in a little bit, maybe some Georgia offensive clips we'll break down a little bit later on the show. Right here on the Miller's Edge, Title 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
For over 50 years, Townsend Nissan has been Tuscaloosa's.
All right, let's see. We'll hit Q06 on the phone lines next, and then. Oh yeah, we had the teleconference today. Appreciate that, Dwight. Yeah, we'll definitely play that. Good call. Where'd you find George's though? I never found George's. I always find ours. Good call, bro. Oh, Bama Central posted. Okay, I was like, wait, how'd you find that? Oh, here we got practice highlights too. Let me throw that on for you guys, Bobby. Keith, what's up? It always throws me off when I see Keith Holcomb, because obviously Keith Holcomb played football here, and was my roommate. So when I see Keith Holcomb in the chat, I'm like, I immediately go, wait, is that Keith? I'm like, nah, because I remember I asked one time, I was like, wait, is this my teammate Keith? But no, it's not. Keelan has such a quick release, and he throws the ball with so much zip. Get it all the time. Yeah, I figure. Yeah, it's ironic because he was my roommate. So I mean, every time I see Keith Holcomb, I immediately go, wait, that's my teammate, my roommate. Keith is a good dude, man. Hell of an athlete, man. It's crazy. Like Keith, we had so much talent. Keith was not like the highest rated guy. And again, he's a local product here. But man, and Keith was like our best special teams guy. But even beyond that, though, I genuinely don't think people understand. Like in practice, bro, Keith made so many plays. Like in coverage, I mean, like Keith, I mean, like he could do it all at linebacker, really. I mean, this dude was like Keith was 6'4", 240. I mean, Keith was an animal, man. He reminded me like Brian Urlacher or something. He was a dog. And then obviously one of our best special teams guys, but he ended up taking the baseball route, which hell, I don't really blame him, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, he was a dude, man. I wish people would see like some of the guys that we had like in practice like that. I mean, we had so many dudes, man. That like a lot of time people didn't really know or really. It's like they knew of them, but they had no idea these dudes were just such good football players because they didn't. We had so much depth. Like they didn't really always see them in game. And Keith was one of them, man. Like I mean, Keith was due for like a pick at least like once a week.
With 95.3 The Fair and Sports Radio Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. All right, let's go to the phone lines real quick, 205-342-9904. We got Q06 up first. Q06, welcome in.
Buenos días, ¿cómo te va?
Buenos días. Todo bien. Sí, ¿cómo estamos?
Hablamos de ego. Let's talk about the game, my friend. Listen, I saw Kirby. Man, Kirby was a hype machine, man. He seemed like he was giving Ty way a lot of love. What you think about that?
Hey, man, I mean, I think he's giving credit where credit's due. I mean, arguably the top quarterback or the top performing quarterback over the last couple of weeks in college football, man. I mean, there's no denying it. I mean, again, I just got to, emphasize this. I know Wisconsin was not great. And I know ULM was ULM, but I mean, 41 or 46 in those games, respectively. I'll be honest with you. I mean, doing that on air is not even easy. So the fact that he was doing that in the game, I mean, it's just extremely impressive. So I think he just, give him credit where credit's due. But also, you already know.
I mean, go, bro. Sorry.
No. I was just going to say, but you already know, coaches. I mean, that's what coaches do, right? I mean, coaches are going to obviously always they go out there, show respect to their opponent too. So I mean. That's part of it. But I don't think he's lying, though. I agree with him. I think Ty's looked like arguably the best quarterback the last 2 weeks as well.
Well, I was listening to a question that they asked Lawson yesterday about the outside noise, and he's like, it's us against everybody. Ty and those guys have to hear that stuff, don't they? They hear what Kirby's saying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they probably do. I mean, look, with social media nowadays, I don't care. I mean, even I guess unless you have every app deleted, and you just never even go. I mean, but still, I mean, like people write articles on stuff like that. So I'm sure you probably see it somewhere, especially these guys. Yeah, you see it.
Did you buy into it when you were playing Christian? When you see that little media, I mean, did you buy into the overhype? Hey, Alabama, this, that. Did you buy into it, or you just focused and locked in on the game?
I'll be honest. I think we were always so locked in on the game. I mean, like we would buy into some of like the negative stuff, meaning like, for example, after we lost to like Ole Miss, say in 2014 and 2015, right? I mean, ESPN was going in on us about the dynasty's over. Alabama's not the same, right? We have a quarterback issue in like 2015, remember? Then because that was before Jake was named like the actual starter. So, I mean, we would buy into that stuff, meaning like we would take it as motivation because, Coach Cochran would plaster it in the weight room, stuff like that. But it wasn't like we would hear somebody say, oh, Alabama's so great that then we would just start. Most of it we tuned out. We would only take pretty much what they would be pushing to us and kind of enroll with that, I would say.
So is that Kirby trying to do the rat poison to his guys over there? I mean, is that him trying to throw that out there? Because I look at it, Christian, straight up, man. I mean, football is football. If you put the best on best out there, like the guy said yesterday, you play one play at a time, I think it would be okay. But it's going to be a tight game. I mean, I just can't see 21-0. Anybody jumping out 21-0 like that? Unless it's Georgia doing it to us, you know.
Well, it's hard to say, Q, because here's the problem. Like, you just still don't really have proof of like what we're going to look like when we show up to Athens, right? Because the history shows we don't play great on the road. I mean, now granted, that could all change this weekend. This could be the weekend. Granted, we've done it before, right? Coming off a bye, going on the road to LSU, we look pretty damn good. So, I mean, this could be that type of weekend, but we have more evidence of us struggling on the road, more evidence of us struggling when we, get behind in football games. So it's a little tough to say, right? But I also look at other factors like, well, I saw what Tennessee's offense was able to do to Georgia's secondary. I see what our passing game's looking like right now when Ty Simpson is given time, right? He's throwing on time. He's throwing extremely accurate, and we know the playmakers that we have, right? We've had all type of weapons, right? Guys that can take the top of the defense, all types of builds. You got Isaiah Horton, a big body receiver. You got young guys like Latsier Brooks, right, who are problems in the slot. And you got Ryan Williams, who's Mr. Playmaker. I mean, so like, I could see it going so many different ways. I could see us putting up a number of points, but I could also see our offensive line struggling to keep Ty clean and it being a struggle for us, Q. So, I mean, like, I'll be honest, man, it's really hard to really say how this game necessarily goes, especially with it still being early on in the year.
I mean, we had more of an opportunity to put in some wrinkles in them. They had a tough game last week against Tennessee. So you just never know how that – I mean, it could be that they're coming in kind of hot. I'm with you, Christian. It could go either way. But I just feel like, personally, the lipstick that I got on, the chapstick, whatever you want to call it, I just feel like, man, we're going to have the best 11-on-11. I feel like we're going to be the best at that. But the running quarterback always makes me nervous when I watch Alabama. I ain't going to lie to you.
That's definitely.
They can run.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, he's definitely going to be a factor in this game. Look, I mean, they're going to go back to that Florida State tape, and they're going to look at, hey, Florida State ran the football very effectively against Alabama. They're going to test that, right? I mean, it's Georgia. They're going to try to do that. And even though their quarterback's not Tommy Castellanos, he can do enough for you where he can be effective in that quarterback run game. And so best believe you're going to see it. They're going to attack the perimeter. They run a whole bunch of screens, right? And so that's going to be key. You're going to have to, again, like they do a lot of different stuff. So our defense, man, they're going to have to be prepared to really face a number of different things in this game. Not to mention they got some reinforcements on their wideouts, and their quarterback can throw the football much more effectively than a lot of people, including myself, thought going into this year. So it's going to be a matchup.
Because I ain't heard Ty Simpson. I know you got Ty Simpson coming up. I ain't heard anything what he's had to say this week. So I'm excited to hear what these guys say about the game. But I did like with Lawson. Lawson seemed like he was locked in, and he made me feel pretty good about the defense. But hey, one thing I've been afraid of football season. I'm not practicing my Spanish like I was, man. I don't need no distractions. The football season is a distraction, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's been like that for me. I've been I've been slacking a little bit with mine as well. But hey, I'm telling you that we're probably going to be, talking about a new app. Well, not a new app. I've been using it, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's called Parrot, but download it. It's really good.
I know Parrot.
Yeah. It's kind of like it breaks down videos into small pieces, and then you study all the vocab below. But I like it a lot because it incorporates pretty much everything in one. It's a lot better than Duolingo, but I've been talking with them over there.
I can't talk to enough people, so I'm having to get as much of an AI device as I can have somebody to talk to every day. But hey, man, Tingo Karame, man, I see you soon. Hopefully next week I'm going to be down for the Vandy game. Looks like it's going to be a 2:30 game. Looks like it's going to be 2:30. So
yeah, man, we'll definitely have to get together. Yeah, for sure, man. We'll definitely link up, man. Absolutely.
Hey, quick question. So you're not doing any shows on Friday?
No. Well, I think there's a good chance we'll be at 12 for Vanderbilt. So I'll but once I get all that confirmed, I'll definitely let you guys know.
Advertise it early in the week because I'm gonna come down a day early if that's the case. So advertise it early in the week. Let me know. Appreciate that.
That sounds good. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Q. All right.
Take care, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You too. All right. Let's hit this next break real quick. To stay on schedule, we come back. We'll go back to the phone lines. Got Robbie Glenn. Then we'll hear from Ty Simpson. We'll also hear from probably Deontay Lawson if we got time. And again, it's Wednesday, meaning it's the SEC teleconference day, meaning that Kalen DeBoer and Kirby Smart both spoke to, I guess, the media via the phone. So we'll try to get to that as well. All coming up right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Hey, this is Wyatt Fulton from Tide 100.9. Since moving to Tuscaloosa in 2022, I've been embraced by the community, and we want to help do the same for you and your business. I'm passionate about the Tide listeners, and I know that they will support advertisers whose products and services we endorse. At Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, we can help create customized radio and digital marketing plans to help grow your business. Hit me up at wyatt.fulton@townsquaremedia.com, and I can tell you more, and let's help your business score big.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393-9149 for your free estimate today. That's 205-393-9149. Who has the advantage at DB? I definitely would lean towards us at DB, honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong, Georgia has good players in their secondary. Granted, they have been tested much more than we have. I mean, Florida State, we faced some good players there. They didn't throw it a whole bunch, but they had good personnel. Outside of that game, we hadn't really been tested. Obviously, Georgia was tested when they played Tennessee, and you saw how that went. But they've got good players, but I would lean towards our guys personally. But yeah, if Ty has time, he could light Georgia up. I think so. And that's kind of my thing. That's why I think the offensive line will just be so instrumental in this game because, I mean, the way Ty's been playing, the way our receivers have been able to get open and, yards after the catch. Now, granted, going against the Georgia defense, right, it's probably not going to look nearly as, elite, I would say, maybe as the last 2 weeks, right? But still, I mean, I definitely think there's some big playability there, some explosive playability there through the air. But it starts up front. And you'll hear Ty talk about it. Everything I was talking about, this is funny. You hear, I'll say this to things, and then you hear whether it's in the coaches' interviews or the players talk about it, like talking about all the pressures that you're going to see from Georgia. I've been talking about that. It's one of the main things Ty pointed out, right? I mean, it's going to be important. Because I'm telling you, I know one thing, man. You talk about Kirby and all those guys, man, they know defense. And what I was going to say to Q06 too is one thing I do know about this game, though, is that Georgia has shown on a consistent basis the ability to play 60 minutes in a game. And that's something that, in my opinion, is definitely going to be a factor here. I genuinely believe it's going to be one of those games where it just kind of comes down to one of those final possessions, kind of similar to what Kalen DeBoer was talking about in his press
the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.
I mean, so we've got to find a way to finish and play 60 minutes, man, and really start fast. I think that's going to be a huge key. We got to start fast. We can't start slow in this game. And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, let's keep it rolling on the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Robbie up next. Robbie, welcome in.
Hey, Christian. How you doing, buddy? Happy Wednesday.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good. I'm excited about all the sports this weekend, but that game, of course, big game at night. One thing I was going to talk about is, how big is it? I mean, you've been in these games, but how big is it to get two senior guys back that have been in this game, been in this battle, and Tim Keenan and Jam, just not so much for their play, because it's going to be their first game, but they're going to hope they play great. But just being on the field and being in those huddles and being able to tell these guys what to expect and what's going on, if anything starts going wrong, just having that senior leadership on the field to calm whatever down, whatever goes bad, and just see that. Isn't that huge to have, especially Jam back?
Yeah, no, I think it is big. I mean, you're talking about two guys on each side of the football too. Yeah, I mean, that leadership is something that probably doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, but to me, I'll be honest with you, Robbie. I mean, and granted, I don't think Tim was at the game at Florida State, but I just hope that they bring that over and they elevate it to even more, because as great as those guys are as leaders, man. They've been talking a lot about the sideline. I think that's going to be key. Like, I mean, we got to just have more juice and intensity. And it starts with guys like that. I mean, they're the leaders on this team. And I think, I know they do bring juice, right? But I think it's just taking it to the next level, especially in these games, will be important. But having those guys back, like you said, is huge, both on the field and from an off-field perspective as leaders, especially like TK. I know, like, a guy like him defensively, he just brings, like, another element, you know what I mean? And we'll play this Deontay Lawson interview a little bit later, but he talks about that. So I think it'll be huge for this defense having TK back and Jam on offense as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious Kirby's going to throw a lot at him. Stuff maybe some of the other backs haven't seen that much of. Not saying they couldn't do a good job, but Jam's seen it. I mean, this is his fourth time playing him. He's going to know what to expect, or and hopefully pick up those blitzes, those cover, and I think that'll also give Ty a lot of confidence, knowing he's got someone picking up a blitz or someone that he can dump it to. I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah, no, it definitely will. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Blitz pickup's going to be big in this game, and not only for the backs, but even you'll hear Ty talk about it in his interview. Being able to work with his offensive line, helping getting those things called out, pre-snap, all that stuff is important, and that's why communication is key. And that is one thing that leads me to, like, the rotation with the offensive line. That's the only thing that I don't like so much about rotating, is that, I mean, you have different guys in there that they might not have the same type of chemistry. And you're talking about an offensive line, man, you got to be on one page, one accord. And so sometimes when you're rotating and there's different guys in there, it can kind of throw stuff off. And I mean, when you're talking about playing a team that's going to throw a lot at you, you just got to be, I guess, very mindful of that. But yeah, Jam should definitely help with that 100%. But I think Ty is definitely going into this game very, very wary of that, that he can help his guys out as much as he can. And it'll be important, man, because I truly believe if we can keep the pocket clean, there's a chance for some really, big explosive plays through the air, right? Just watching that Tennessee tape, we have to get to it, right? I mean, got to protect first. So if we can do that, I think we'll definitely make some plays through the air.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely got to have the intensity, like you said. We didn't have it the first game, but I don't think that'll happen again. So,
yeah, I think they show up probably with much greater intensity. I think that part, we'll see. The next step off that is, can they sustain it? That's kind of what I'm thinking, because this is going to be a 60-minute game, right? Like, I fully expect them to come out with much more juice than they did week one, right? Because number one, they've learned from that. Number two, I think these coaches are taking a different approach. However, will it last? I bring that up too because if you watch Wisconsin, they had it for the first half, really good. And then the second half, I feel like it died a little bit. And I remember Coach DeBoer talking about in the locker room at halftime. I mean, they were still, pushing it, and it sounded like they were ready to roll, but they didn't really fully execute that same level of intensity the second half. So they're going to need to be able to sustain it this game because, again, Georgia has proven that they can sustain for 60 minutes. Just go back and watch their last game against Tennessee. They got punched in the mouth, but what they do, they adjusted and they responded. We haven't showed that too much, and I think that's going to be a huge test for us because you're going against a team that has proven to do that. Not to mention they're going to be at home, so they're going to have that home field advantage. They're going to have that external motivation from the crowd. So it's going to be important that we really elevate that part of our game too.
Yeah, and be in that game. It's going to be awesome. And last thing, I know you up against time, but is this I can't remember the first time, I think, since Judy, Ruggs, and Smith and all those receivers that we've had this much talent at receiver at one time where at any given time a receiver could take over a game. Is this the first time since those guys all on the field at one time that you can remember?
Yeah, I would
having
probably
this many weapons at receiver.
Yeah, I would probably say, I mean, this receiving core, and I know a lot of folks were talking about that going into the year, but I still wanted to be patient because, again, I'm like, man, you guys are comparing these guys to like a group of like 3 or 4 first-round receivers. Like, that's insane. But, no, I mean, seeing Jeremy Bernard, you know, build off of what he did last year, which, again, he had such a great spring, is not really shocking. But, I mean, he's really just been so impressive and reliable. I mean, I would say between him and Ryan, you're probably looking at 2 first-round guys, right? At least as long as they continue playing how they're playing. So, yeah, I think you're right, man. And then you talk about Brooks, who looks to be special for, you know, at a young age, and then Isaiah Horton slowly coming along, you know, showing what he can do. So, yeah, I would say probably since, 2021 or something like that. Yeah, I think this is probably the best group that we've had.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun to watch. And Ty's hitting them all, so it's great. He's playing great.
Yeah, he is.
All right, Chris, I love the show, man.
Oh, thank you so much, Robbie. Appreciate you, and good to hear from you, brother.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir. Take care, man. Good deal. All right, we got to hit this top of the hour break. When we come back, I think we got one more call we can get to when we come back. Kick off hour number 2 with that. Then we'll definitely go to some of these press conferences and interviews, and we are expected to be joined by the Pastor Payne, getting his thoughts on this Georgia-Alabama matchup, this SEC showdown this week, and we'll continue to break it down as well right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
It's the Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC 10K payday give.
All right. Let me see if I can pull up this Georgia tape.
Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles. Here's Steve DeSager.
The Dodgers took the late ball game 6-3 over San Francisco. No decision for Clayton Kershaw. He pitched 4 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks. That could be his last start in L.A. He's retiring after this year. The Dodgers officially clinched a playoff spot as Arizona lost at home 8-2.
What's up?
Let me just get some food.
Yeah, I just got here, Greenville. Yep, just got in.
Nice.
Chick-fil-A.
It's the second time somebody's mentioned Chick-fil-A recently. That joint sounds good. Oh, yeah, Rico, too. I was going to throw him in there at the end. I thought of him. You're right. Yeah, we got a good group. Good group, Scott. Rico Scott.
What was that?
The wide receiver.
No.
We were just talking about our receiver room just a second ago. Pull this up real quick. Tennessee, man, never fails. I was saying Tennessee never fails, man.
Well, good.
I was saying with their offense, with what they do.
Josh Heupel, man.
Oh no. Spread you out, run the ball inside, throw a couple screens, hit you deep. That's literally what they do. What's crazy is these Georgia guys were like in phase. I mean, it's not like they were just getting beat or anything. I don't know what this dude was doing. Looked like he got there too early, then he tried to come off because he didn't want to get the PI. I don't know. I definitely think there's going to be some chance to take some shots, though, for sure.
And the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with New York Giants legend and South Carolina Hall of Famer Corey Miller and his son, 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
And knocked down again. It was Christian Miller.
Here is college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome back into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. All right, we've been rolling on the phone lines. Might as well just continue there real quick before we get back to some other stuff. I don't want you guys waiting too long. 205-342-9904. We got Denon up next. Denon, welcome in.
Hey, man, how's it going? Long time I haven't had a chance to talk to you in a while.
Yeah, man. How's everything with you, man? Hope you've been well.
Oh, man, everything's good. Still, as of right now, cancer-free for almost 2 years now, so we're good.
Hey, man.
After the surgery and stuff, so it's all good. So, yeah, we're just on December. Well, December will be almost 2 years, give or take. We're good on that part.
Hey, man.
Yeah, everything's been good. I enjoy your show a lot while I'm at work, but, sometimes I can't call in. I don't know if my boss is listening to y'all or not. So.
No, you're good, man. Don't get in trouble, man. No, we appreciate you, man. Good to hear from you.
I kind of touched base a little bit on Monday night during Gary and Rodney's show with Andre, I guess. And I was the other one. First time I'd heard it on Monday night. I can't remember who else was with him. Him and Andre and Gary Harris. And overall, the game this weekend, I would feel better if it was at home because of our road troubles last year, and this year.
Yeah.
And I feel better that, to me, having Keenan, because we going. Like I said before, I've had the honor of being on the field and pre-games and stuff like that at home and on the road, and it's a different mentality on the road. But in the past, kind of like Andre said and Gary and him said on Monday night, y'all hit the field differently back then. I don't know if it's the NIL generation or what. Y'all also had, like with Coach Cochran and others, that basically I ain't gonna say they didn't call y'all human, but they mentally broke y'all down to a point where y'all was ready to kill somebody. And I'm wondering if we can get that same mentality. Yourself had that same mentality. I mean, I've heard y'all's conversation as players on the field.
Yeah, 100%.
And you pushed each other differently. You talked to each other differently and everything else. And just going into the game like that, is it better that we've had everything like that? Or can we get that back? Or can this, because Andre and him said basically it's something either you have it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
That type of that hungry dog mentality. It's different, And I think having Keenan on the defensive side of the ball is going to help us because I think he brings an aspect of that style play that y'all had back during your days and around even earlier than then. But I think it's important. We're going to have to step off the bus because if we step off the bus mentally questioning ourselves, we may be beat before we ever get on the first play.
Yeah, well, I was going to say this. I mean, I agree definitely you have it or you don't in terms of being a dog and having that mentality. But I also believe you can at least there's I guess I agree that there's only so much you can do, but at the same time, I do believe culture is a big piece of that, right?
Oh yeah.
Because not every single person on your roster is going to be like that, but you got to have enough of those guys for it to be infectious to where it goes to, it affects everybody else. And I think the biggest thing for us, and I was talking about this yesterday on the show, is that when it comes to traveling and playing on the road like that, I mean, it's a mindset that you got to embrace it. Like I always called it like embracing like playing the villain role. I mean, you got to know you got 100,000 people that are all cheering against you, booing you, cussing at you, throwing stuff at you. Sometimes, I mean, like, and you just got to go in there and like have fun with it. Like for us, we always like just like we had Ruben on here, we talked about that. Like we honestly we probably enjoy playing on the road more than we did at home because of that. At least as a defense, right? Granted, offense has other challenges, but still, it's just like a swagger that you have when you go play in somebody else's stadium. Because we knew like we were the main attraction, right? Like the reason their stadium was packed out is half the time it wouldn't even be full capacity when they were playing somebody else, but everybody wanted to see
They came to see y'all.
Bama. They came to see us. So we wanted to put on a show, and we wanted to prove, like this is why we are Bama. So it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of having that dog mentality, and it's a sense of showing up and saying, like, look, man, like all these people are against us. It's time to go out there and prove who we really are. So I think at the end of the go ahead.
No. I mean, I think, like I said with Keenan, though, even that though. I feel better having Jam back there. I think he would be able to recognize the blitzes, recognize what may be thrown at him better than the freshman has. He's been there, done that. That's also a mentality thing there. Having him back on that as a running back is going to be Ty's back pocket, his help,
Yeah.
So overall, I feel good about it, but, I think we'll be okay, though.
Yeah, and I was going to say the only other piece I'd add real quick to that whole thing is it comes from confidence, right? And for us, why wouldn't we be confident? We knew we had the baddest dudes in college football. We knew, because we did it on a consistent basis. I think part of this, I'll be honest with you, is I don't think these guys feel as confident as maybe the teams that I played on, right? I mean, I played in 4 straight national championship games, right? You know what I mean? Like, of course I'm going to be confident. Like, I know the guys I'm surrounded by, but, like, when you look at what these guys have been, doing the last few years, or even before Coach DeBoer got here, I mean, they haven't confidently and consistently gone and really beat people down like we were doing. So I think that's another thing. I mean, you got to earn that respect, not only from your opponent, but also within your team, improving on a consistent basis. Like, we go out here, we handle business, and this is who we are. This is what we do. But I'll let my dad chime in. I'm sure he's probably got something to add to that.
Yeah, what's up, Dan? I'm glad you're doing well. That's good to hear. Praise God for that.
God the glory. That's right, for sure.
Always, my man. Listen, here's the thing. While y'all were talking, I was just sitting here thinking to myself, Alabama, this is no stranger. This is no weird thing that they haven't had before. I mean, they go to LSU. They've been at Tennessee. Both those stadiums are louder and bigger than Sanford Stadium between the hedges. I played there a couple of times in my college days. I mean, great place to play college football. But you're not going in there afraid, and it's going to be too loud. Here's my thing. Yeah. If Alabama here's what you got to do, man. It's kind of like I was watching South Carolina this past weekend, right? When you go on the road, they always tell you, and it's been the standard from high school to college to the National Football League, you got to pack some things. You got to pack a defense. You have to pack a defense that can be able to stop the run. What does Georgia like to do? They like to run the football. They like to control the clock. You got to be able to stop the run game. And that won't, if you do that, that will not allow that play action passing game with Gunnar Stockton to try to hit you over the top with those plays, right? The second thing you got to do, you have to be able to run the ball. South Carolina had -9 yards at Missouri. They gave up 275 yards, and still they were in the game and winning the game in the fourth quarter, right? So you got to do those types of things. And why I get concerned about Alabama in this game, not because they're on the road, because one, they can't run the football, or they haven't shown that they can run the football with any type of consistency. Therefore, it lies a reason of concern for me, because I know you have to be able to do that. I love Ty Simpson. I love how he's playing. I love the frisbee catching dogs at the wideout positions. But if you go on the road and having to throw it 40, 45 times, you're probably not going to win the game. And so you got to have that run threat. Right. It ain't about the stadium. It's not going to Athens, Georgia. It's about, can they stop the run? Can they make Georgia become one-dimensional? Because Gunnar Stockton is not the type of quarterback that is going to sit there in the pocket and throw the ball over the yard and beat you. If they can stop the run, they give themselves an amazing chance to win this football game. And if they can run the football, control the clock, play keep away, dominate the time of possession, then they will have a chance to win this game. But it has zero to do with the crowd and the size of the crowd, because Alabama is accustomed to that. They do that all the time. So, but those two things right there, those two variables are going to be everything with this football game.
Hey, but you got to love college football. It's always fun to talk about.
Yeah, man, it's just love it, right? I mean, it's America's #1 game, in my opinion, college football.
Oh, yeah. Hey, fellas, God bless. Have a good one, and I will holler at y'all later.
Yes, sir. Sounds good,
you, man. Be well.
Deal.
But yeah, I mean that's going to be the ticket for Alabama. If they go down there and they get behind early, and then they can't run the ball, they become one-dimensional, where you let Kirby Smart dial up these exotic blitzes, these exotic zone dogs, doing those types of things, getting you in, where they know what you're going to do. You're one-dimensional, you're going to lose the game. But if they can establish a running game that's consistent, can move the chains, keep it third and short, keep it second and mediums. Now they got Georgia guessing. They don't know if it's run pass, then Alabama can win this game. I don't think Georgia is great to the standpoint where they're just going to dominate this game. They're a really good football team. They're one of the best teams in the country. I don't argue with that. But is this the same Georgia from years past? No, just like it's not the same Alabama from years past. So they got to be able to do certain things. And so Alabama's got to go in there and establish the run. I mean, they might have to start by, throwing the ball, short passing game, swing routes, quick passes to the tight end, just to get Ty Simpson comfortable. And that opens up the run game. They may have to do that because Georgia, I believe, is going to stack the box. They're going to dare them to throw the football. They're going to take that away because Kirby Smart, he knows exactly what I know. I got a young quarterback, yet very talented, but I'm getting ready to put him in some dire situation. I'm going to bring pressure. I'm going to apply pressure. I'm going to try to dictate what he can and cannot do. And that's what's going to happen. So we're going to see how they alter that. So it'll be a little bit of a chess game, but if they can handle that and run the football, man, knock Georgia guys back. They don't have those dominant defensive linemen like they had 3-4 years ago. They don't have them types of dudes. They got talented guys, but they don't have them dudes. So Alabama can have a measure of success if they stay committed to running the football and doing it at a very successful level.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. So I agree with you in terms of what we're probably going to see out of that offense early on, at least, right? Quick passing game. What Ryan Grubb has been doing with Ty to kind of get him comfortable, get him in a rhythm, and I think has been key, right, for the success that he's been having. Granted, I do think there are going to be explosive play opportunities down the field, but like you said, I mean, they got to develop, right? And it's important. You got to keep him clean, and you got to also not be one-dimensional, because if not, like you said, they're going to probably bring the heat, make him uncomfortable, and try to force the issue. I definitely think that's going to be their game plan defensively. Let's hit this quick timeout to stay on schedule when we come back. I know we got Pat on the phone lines, got some stuff we got to get to. SEC teleconferences were today. We can hear from those. Plus, Ty Simpson spoke to the media yesterday and previewed this matchup. So a lot of stuff we got to cover, and we'll get to that when we come back right on the Miller's Edge Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
What's right? When buying her jewelry, what's right? There is an answer. That's what Fincher and Osmond is so good at. You just tell us what you see in her, why she's so special to you. What makes you wake up with her on your mind? What's right?
Yep, excited for the game. Should be a great atmosphere. I know our fan base has been hungry for a game like this at night, and our players are excited, and a lot of respect for Coach DeBoer and his team and the way they play and compete, the physicality they play with, and looking forward to the opportunity to see our guys go out and play.
For questions, use the raise hand function, and we'll begin with Mike Griffith of the AJC.
Kirby, I know it's a really small sample size so far this season, and I also know that you've talked about the team didn't get Tennessee in a lot of third downs, but in terms of pressure, I'm wondering about the new rule and the pre-snap movement. Your teams were pretty effective at shifting at the line, changing up fronts right before the snap, often confused offensive lines. Is that going to have an impact? I mean, are you still kind of waiting to see, or do you have a pretty good idea of whether or not that new rule is in fact favoring the offense this year to a decent degree?
No, I see it all around the league. I mean, there's people that, I mean, it's all over tape. The Oklahoma Auburn game, Florida Miami game, it's all over tape in terms of different people doing different things. I don't think that rule gives the offense any kind of advantage, and I don't think it handicaps or hurts us in any way. I don't really know what you're asking, but I haven't thought of that as any kind of relevant change if that's what you're asking.
The pre-snap movement and the defenses, I think that now that there's only so much shifting you can do right before the snap, I guess I just wondered why they made the rule if there wasn't going to be some significant reason behind it. You were on the rules committee, so maybe you can give me some background on that.
No, the only thing they changed was the method with which you go about it. You can still do the movements, and teams are still doing them. They're still all across our league. So I don't think it's been a significant change.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Next to be Brett Martell of the Associated Press. Brett, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, okay. I thought I unmuted. Sorry. Just wanted quickly the reaction to the 3 annual opponents that Georgia's going to get for the next 4 years. If obviously the Florida one was obvious, what did you think about the other 2?
No real surprise. I mean, just kind of is what it is at this point. I don't see the significance of it because every 2 years we're playing everybody in the conference. So I don't.
Way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Tide 100.9. Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy with a good chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and tonight. There could be some strong storms involved. The high today 92, tonight's low 70. Tomorrow cloudy at times with scattered to numerous showers and storms. The high 82. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 86 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. I know we got a lot of folks lining up on the phone line, so we'll keep rolling there for now. And then when we get a chance, we'll go to some of these interviews here in a moment. 205-342-9904. We got Pat up next. Pat, welcome in.
Hey, man, I'm so happy that we got your daddy, the pastor of Payne. That man, Mr. Miller, tell me how bad is a Payne going to be for Alabama? We have another preacher that preaches about and he talks about the offensive line and that we got ailments on the offensive line. And are we going to be able to give Proctor a tight end and then and with a new with our having our star running back, are we going to be able to keep Ty upright for 4 to 5 seconds in order to be able to have him pick them apart?
That's the $1 million question, Pat. I mean, if they're going to be able to protect Ty Simpson and give him the adequate time to scan the football field and complete some of these great passes. And I don't know. I am concerned. I'm concerned about the tackle position on the left and the right. And I know what these coaches see on tape, and they see the exact same thing that I see. They see 2 guys that don't have adequate footwork, They see two tackles that don't handle the speed rush extremely well. They open up their hips. They get out of rhythm there, out of their fundamental what things that they're taught to do. They turn and open up the gate, as we like to call it, and then that gives them the ability to get around the edge. And so I think the way Kirby is, he's going to exploit that. He's going to put direct pressure on the outside. They're going to run dogs from the outside. They're going to run twists. They're going to run a lot of games. So I don't know. I mean, I wish I could honestly sit here and go, man, Alabama's line's so good. They'll adjust and be just fine. I don't know. I mean, the history tells me they're going to give up some sacks. History tells me they're going to get pressure on Ty Simpson. So that's where the offensive coordinator is going to have to say, you know what? We got to chip. We got to keep backs in. We got to go to a quick passing game. How do you handle pressure? How do you handle quick rushes, quick passing game, zip screens, middle screens, tight end, chip and turn around, get for 4 yards. They sometimes take the place of running the football. So to me, the offensive coordinator for Alabama has to be able to win that chess match against the defense of Georgia. And if they can do that and move the ball, that'll pull them out of that, right? They'll come out of that. Now that's going to open up some opportunities for Ty Simpson to hit some deep balls down the football field. But if they try to, block with 5, they're going to have problems because Georgia has athletes on it. They got guys that can bend, guys that can get up the field, get off the ball real quick. So they got those kinds of dudes on the edges, which is the weakest part of Alabama's offensive line, if you ask me, based on what I've seen, not just this year, but going back even to last year, Pat. So that is going to be the million-dollar question. Can they handle the pressure from Georgia, and will the offensive coordinator adjust and be able to get the ball out of Ty Simpson's hand and not lose negative yards? Because if you're going, that's the biggest thing on the road. If you losing yards, getting sacks, that just puts you in a tough situation.
Well, I understand that Roberts is healthy, and with Roberts being healthy, and with Brellerford, that should the middle part of that line ought to be a little better. But like I say, if they can give him a tight end, and where he only has to kind of block down versus worrying about getting a man on the outside. And like I said, in that tight end being able to release and Ty just dropped the ball to him.
Right.
That maybe that's the answer. Like you said, chip him and get us. Hey, 4 yards wins a ball game. If you can get 4 yards on average, whether you're running or throwing, 4 yards wins a ball game. And it wears them out.
Yeah,
it wears them out. All right. Hey,
you got to be methodical sometimes in a game like this, Pat. You just have to say, you know what, we like to get the ball down the field to Ryan Williams. We like to get the ball down the field to Jeremy Bernard. Obviously, they want to do those things. They have those what they like to call explosives. But at the same time, you have to be extremely smart not to get behind the sticks in these types of games. Now you're talking about the crowd noise. Now you're talking about becoming one-dimensional. You have to stay ahead of the chain. So don't have to be sexy. Just get 4 yards. However you get swing route to Jam Miller, who's great at that, catching the ball out of the backfield. Use those tight ends. I think it's Cuevas is his name. I believe I'm saying that right.
Yep.
He's got great hands. He's smart. He can work the middle of the field, middle screens with the tight end. Get the ball out of the hands of your quarterback and don't allow to continue to stay in negative plays. And I think they're smart enough to know that's what they're going to have to do until the game opens up.
Gotcha. Hey, have a blessed day, and I'm glad you was able to be on. And if you have prayer meeting tonight, I hope it's a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Good deal. Real quick, here's a good example of counter and pressure, right, with the quick screen right here. You see a quick little bubble from Georgia because Tennessee's bringing the house 3rd and 7, and then ends up going for 6. Great blocking on the perimeter by those receivers right there, and one does the rest, taking it to the crib. But yeah, man, I definitely think quick game will be frequently used in this matchup. And just to put this note out there, Georgia's front, I mean, they haven't been like the most productive in terms of the front themselves. I don't even think I think they're a little bit behind in terms of statistics. Granted, again, they had a game against a Tennessee offense, which is pretty solid, but That being said, the pressure has been coming from obviously them bringing pressure, the blitzes. So blitz pick up, good communication between the line with Ty, backs that are in there in protection, right? Tight ends, if they're in the core, will be huge because that's really where a lot of Georgia's pressure is coming from right now. I don't think they really have like any individuals. They got good players up front, but nobody's really, I guess, solely responsible for really doing that. Granted, that could change this weekend with their offensive line if they're not consistent. All right, we got to hit another timeout to stay on schedule. We come back. We'll keep rolling on the phone lines. This always happens. I'm telling you guys. Talking Tuesday where y'all are the co-hosts. It's like, all right, so it's all right, not too bad. Then the following day, it's always the next day. I mean, we go phone like the whole way. But hey, not complaining. We'll keep going to you guys. As you guys line up, we got Smitty coming up next right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Your flagship home of Alabama sports.
Took advantage of it and, got our bodies right a little bit and, now we're here.
Coach DeBoer said he told kind of everybody on the team to sort of try and re-examine their process and fine-tune it during the bye week. Did you make any changes to yours?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just my morning routine a little bit. Try to wake up a little bit earlier just so I can, come here and have more time leading up to practice to get here. He always talk about refining your process. So, yeah, just working on that.
Is that something that some of the other guys have been doing too?
No, yeah, definitely. I feel like, me and JJ, today we got here super early, watched some extra film, and, I feel like it kind of gave us a little boost for practice today. And, that's just something we just going to keep building on and, see how it goes.
What are your early thoughts on Georgia? What are you guys going to have to do well?
Yeah, first we're going to have to stop the run defensively. Got to stop the run. They got great quarterback, great backs, great on the perimeter. We got to make sure we can tackle well in space and make sure we got all 11 hats flying to the ball and execute our job, and, we should be fine.
I don't know how consistently you'd say you guys have done that to this point. How would you describe that part of it and where you've seen sort of the areas that you guys can get better?
Say that one more time.
As far as stopping the run, how would you describe how you guys have done with that to this point and what you guys need to do to kind of shore that out?
Yeah, I think calls is a big thing. Like just knowing the call and knowing how to fit every kind of run scheme it is in one call, and with TK coming back, Tim Keenan coming back, that'll help us a lot. We're super excited. We know he gonna hold the double teams for us linebackers, and we just got to fly around and make plays, and that's just come off anticipation. So I feel like we're getting there, we're getting better, and this will be a great test for us to see if we can stop the run or not.
What's the challenge in a mobile quarterback? What do you see going to stop him?
Yeah, it's always a challenge for having going against a mobile quarterback. You got just an extra element of the run game, and Gunner, you could tell by his last year film when he came in, hey, physical player, tough kid, and can make all the throws. So he's super talented, and we gotta make sure we dial in and make sure we keep him early.
What have you seen in a receiver like Zach Branch?
Yeah, man, Branch is explosive. I think he has all their explosive plays this year, and he definitely was very explosive at USC last year, and you can't let him get going. You gotta stop him in his tracks, because if he get going, it can be a big play. So we want to limit that for sure.
What is the one thing you guys need to do better in terms of going on the road?
Yeah, I think just the things we've been preaching, sideline having juice, and just to to know it's us against everyone, and that on the sideline we all we got, and we all we need. That's our slogan. We all we got, we all we need. And just picking your brother up on the sideline, or because it's 100,000 against you, man, and you need your brothers to be supporting you, to bring life to you or bring juice, and it all comes down to execute. You got to execute on the field, and if you can execute on the field, you can take the crowd away, and then it's just 11 on 11 at that point.
How would you describe the edge this team has right now?
Man, truly, I thought we were starving in the summer and during camp, and then we got that first punch week 1, and
100.9.
just the sense of urgency guys have. If that's
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're going to keep on rolling with the phone calls, 205-342-9904. We got Smitty up next. Smitty, welcome in.
Hey, how you gentlemen doing today?
Doing well. Smitty, how are you, bro?
What's up, Smitty?
Good. First, middle like this. My middle nephew in Atlanta got baptized this past Sunday. So yeah,
awesome.
He called me happy about it. What's that, sir? I'm sorry.
That's awesome, my brother. Awesome.
Yeah, he called me happy about it. But with this game here, here's a question, and I know I may take some heat for this. I know we talk about run blocking, but can we just be honest? Are we sure Richard Young and Daniel Hill are great? Because I see what Kevin Riley can make chicken salad out of chicken crap, can make stuff. I see A.K. Gary limited role he has to have some burst, some juice, and break stuff. And it's been 3 games. And I'm just wondering, maybe they're just okay. They're just good guys, but maybe just not that, if you get what I'm saying. I know that may sound harsh, but I never heard anyone talk about run blocking when it was Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, Damian Harris, Josh Jacobs, those guys, if you get what I'm saying. Because sometimes the whole ain't going to be there all the time. Sometimes you got to make something happen. And I'm just a fan, a regular guy. It's just something that I see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I never said any of those guys were elite or anything like that. I know a lot of people, what they do is they go, oh, we got this guy, and they just start naming off guys based off how they're recruited and stuff like that. But no, I mean, I think you're right when you say that. I mean, I think we've got those are good backs. They're not elite, but I think when you watch the tape, though, I would argue that it has a lot of the issue is the run blocking itself. Now, that being said, I'm with you. I think when you have a really good running back, there are going to be times where he can make something out of nothing, right? But if you don't necessarily have that, you've got to make sure you're executing extremely well up front. And I just know watching the tape, we haven't executed great on the offensive line. So that is going to have to change. But I do think maybe Jam coming back, he's one of those guys to me that can help create some stuff. So, yeah, I think that will help. But I think first and foremost, man, the offensive line, they got to execute better. And really, it's not anything major, right? I think there's small fundamentals and small things, technique-wise that they could do that would definitely make a difference. So hopefully we see that in this game. Obviously, it's going to be more of a challenge, but they've obviously been challenged. I know Ryan Grubb and all those coaches up there, they're definitely going to be trying to harp on that. So we'll see.
Yeah. One thing also, speaking of offensive line, I think this is a money game for Cade Proctor. If you want to make those big bucks, if you declare for the draft, this is the game here where all the eyeballs, all the scouts are going to be at. And if he's out there getting whooped again, it's going to really hurt him because I'm still not a fan of Formby. I still would rather roll Michael Carroll because at least I believe he has the attitude and the nastiness with it, especially in a run game. I think you need nasty guys in the run game. But I believe it's a real big for Caden Proctor because they're going to put that best pass rusher on him or put speed on him and try to whoop him inside. Maybe you could chip, maybe you help him out. But honestly, that's the guy I worry about in this game because I know they know, hey, the running backs ain't what they want. But I think he's the key, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
I think it's going to be a big, I agree with you, Smitty. I think he's going to have a chance to say, hey, you know what, I belong at the next level. I can play at the high level, or he's going to have that chance to say, I'm dropping down on this draft board, right? He's going to get drafted just because of his size and his length and all that stuff. And he plays good enough, right? He plays good enough. Now he may transition down, and he could be a heck of a guard, which I think that's what's going to happen. But this is a great opportunity for him, right? You know, that as Kirby talked about, being able to have a night game in Athens on national television. Everybody in the world's watching. Alabama, Georgia. I mean, they have been the incumbents of college football the last decade. So you know, everybody's familiar with those names and the A, the script A, and then the G. I mean, that's been college football. It's been a national championship game in Georgia, in Atlanta. So this is going to draw a lot of eyeballs. And so if you're a player, this is where you go to Alabama, right? This is why you go for this type of stage. You go to say, hey, you know what? If I want to play and chase the bag at the next level, this is why I go to Alabama. And I go showcase my talents to the world, right? So if you know, I've listened to a couple of interviews earlier. I mean, they seem so nice and kind. I love them from a pastoral standpoint. But come on, give me a little dog in you. Give me a little bite. Give me a little roof. Give me something. You know, I mean, cause you're a Christian don't mean you have to be no punk. Cause you're a Christian don't mean you got to be soft. Cause you can still go out and bust somebody in the mouth, right? Tell them Jesus love them. Tell them that he's the way, the truth, and the life while you get them up off the ground. Okay, but like they got good dudes, but they too nice. Alabama got to get some more dogs, and you got to get some Newport smoking, Black and Mild smoking dudes that you can minister the gospel to as well. Bring them into the fold, and so you can balance out the niceness and a little bit of dog, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think what Pastor Miller's saying, we need some more guys with some apostrophes in their names and who think they mama's a mommy and a daddy. That's what we need.
Oh, wow.
I'll say this real quick. I think, like y'all said, time in the pocket for time. Because the main difference between Florida State and these past couple of games is tied through on time. And because this offense is about throwing on time. And give him time. This receiver core can eat. And remember, Georgia did put up 40-something points on Tennessee, but it had like 13 possessions. Alabama had like 9 possessions against Wisconsin, and that's a good defense. Now, the offense is a problem, but I know people are going to say that's just them. But if Alabama beat Warren 24-17, people be crying and moaning about that, you know. So you can't win. And all you can do is worry about who you play in your schedule. Like Saban said, nameless faceless opponent. But I think if you just do your job, because I remember Jarian Laam, I saw a clip of his podcast or change where he didn't do his job and the guy Kentucky ran for 75 yards. You know, and I think that's the thing. Even on defense, if you get beat doing your job, you just get beat. But don't try to do too much to be on Sports Center because you're going to be on Sports Center regardless. You'd rather be on Sports Center you doing your job instead of trying to run out the play, trying to be a hero. And I think we'll win this game, to be honest. But you guys have a good one. Have good work. Thanks for having me on, and you guys do a great job. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate you, Smitty, man. Take care, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's funny. He said with a few more apostrophes, and oh man, that's wild.
I like that.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. I just like this, man. Who that you had on that I was just listening to?
Deontay Lawson.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to come around. And you can tell he's getting a little bit more healthier, and he's a really good player, well spoken, man. I mean, it's kind of dude like seems like you want your daughter to marry, that kind of dude. But I wish you go down and get a little bit of Reuben Foster, Black and Mild syndrome, you know, bust them in the head. I mean, you know, that let people know that, hey, man, I'm coming through these gaps with bad intentions. I'm coming into your backfield with bad intentions. I want to see that side of him. I want to see he got the raw athleticism. He got the skill sets. And I know, you know, he's been hurt. And I know the timidity that comes along with getting that confidence in your mind back. But they got to get back to Alabama defense. You know, the old Alabama, nobody had any worries going into Georgia or anywhere. because they knew that defense was going to allow them to be in the game. Even if the offense struggled, the fan base and everybody in America knew that Alabama's defense would allow them to be in the ball game. They knew they were going to get some 3 and outs. They knew they were going to create some turnovers. They knew that they were going to give the offense some good field position, right? That was just a known. That was Nick Saban defense. Nobody was concerned. I don't even care who was on the other side, right? Now there's just too much of a question mark that they seem to lack confidence. Like when I watch Alabama's defense, there's nothing that I see with my eyes that would suggest that these dudes going out to ball. That these dudes going out there with the attitude that we're the best on the field, we shutting you down. It's gonna be a tough day for you, bro. That like there's nothing that gives me that vibe. And I'm just saying that to me tells me the culture has changed completely now. Because before it was about Alabama defense. It wasn't about frisbee catching dogs. It was about running the football. It was about controlling the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. It was about 3 and outs. It was about creating turnovers, right? They didn't go in expecting the offense to have to score 40. They expected the offense to not give the ball away, protect the football, run the football, and then catch this one. They would always say, it's okay to punt. It's okay to punt the ball away. Why? Because we got a defense that's going to get it back to you.
It's fair. That's fair. Sorry, I was trying to pull this. I don't know if you remember this. Did you go to the game in 2015? Did you travel to that? I couldn't remember.
Georgia?
Yeah. I don't think you went. Unless you did or not, I don't remember. Well, this was pregame, man. This was last time we went to Georgia. What happened was, real quick before we hit this timeout, they had like returners over here that were fielding punts, and we were coming out for warm-ups or whatever the case may be. It was either warm-ups or whatever the game was about to start. I can't remember. I think it was warm-ups. But anyway, their returners like kept bumping into us as we were coming out. And so it led to like a whole, I wouldn't say like a scuffle, but I mean, it was whatever you want to call that. And I mean, that just set the tone. I mean, but that's what you're talking about, having them type of dudes. I mean, our dudes are already ready from that moment. And they're trying to act like they're running over there and all this rah-rah they're doing. Yeah, this was for warm-ups because all those people still on the field. But
today's guys go over there want to shake hands.
Nah, come on, man.
I mean, they want to like, hey, you gonna give me your jersey after the game? I hate all this stuff. I mean, kind of like, listen, man, football is meant to play a certain way. We're enemies. Now, we can do all of that after the game, bro. We can lovey-dovey, kumbaya. We pray together. We used to do that circle at the midfield. I'm with all that, 100%. But now we worried about, hey, man, can I get your jersey? Blah, 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 man. When you come on my podcast, I mean, come on. This is what football is right now. It's just so many nice guys, but I'm just trying to tell you, like, that point right there, hey, I want all that smoke. I want all that smoke. And listen, we gonna go at it 60 minutes or however it takes, however long it takes. So I don't know, man. It ain't just Alabama. It's college football. Everybody is nice. And I mean, listen, again, I'm a preacher man, but I will always say this, and then when I even mentor these kids now, I tell them, if I see them out there not playing tough, we have a conversation. You think you want a scholarship? You getting blowed up like that right there? You won't fight back? Like, listen, there's a way you play the game. Football is a legal way where you can take your frustrations out on people. You ain't gonna get locked up. You're not gonna catch a charge. Football is, listen, go let them lay down to sleep for about 15 minutes. That's okay. You ain't trying to hurt them permanently, but it's okay to make them a little bit woozy. I mean, that has to be your attitude. This is a warrior. This is a gladiator sport. That's what makes it fun. That type of competition. It makes it fun to go down between those hedges. Makes it fun.
We need this type of attitude. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just got to have that.
But they got Denzel. They got dudes, they got dudes that know this stuff. I mean, I know they're working for Kalen and the boy right now, but what are they saying? I know them dudes personally. Got through you.
They,
Like, what are they saying? Like, come on.
They're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. What they should be doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I promise you, they are. They are.
But they ain't.
But it's. I mean,
it ain't
like,
happening on that toughness. Got to show up defensively. I'm sorry. That toughness, hitting
It
people
does.
in the mouth, standing over them. I know you get a penalty sometime for that now, which is stupid. But like that, just man, I don't know. It's just like it was that culture that y'all had, man, defensively. That, bruh, like if you catch a ball, you gonna, like we used to say, me and Pepper Johnson and LT and our guys would always say, man, we called it the briar patch. Right? When receivers, you want to come up in here to this briar patch, you best believe you going to get stuck. If you come into this briar patch, you going to get stuck. And now these little receivers that's all cute and don't wear knee pads and look like they got shorts on for pants in a game running around. Man, come on. I'll catch a penalty. You want to be like that? I'm going to catch one. I'll take 15 to get your nerves shook up. That's the kind of attitude I'm talking about.
100%. Let's hear from Kirby Smart real quick. He commented on Ryan Grubb and this Alabama football team during the teleconference. This is what he had to say.
Coach, appreciate the time. Wanted to ask about Alabama offensively in particular with Ryan Grubb. What impresses you about this offense this year for Alabama with Coach Grubb, Coach?
They're very efficient. They're playing at a high level. I think he's gotten really comfortable with Ty, quarterback, and timing of throws, the vision and awareness of coverage, the ability to run the ball and set up shots off of play action, package plays. They do a good job of setting up plays in terms of what they carry for that game complements the formations. They're not predictable within what they do, and they balance you up with a good bit of tempo, and they make you defend the whole field vertically and horizontally. They do a good job.
And Coach, if I heard you right, you referenced Alabama playing on a sloppy field in that first game against Florida State. What's the significance of that in particular when evaluating another team's offense, Coach?
Well, it's relative to how they play. Sometimes in those conditions, you don't get to play the exact style that you want to play. And, we've all coached and seen games where it was either raining during the game, which I think it was there, or the conditions were not great. It's just, sometimes you don't get to be who you want to be in those conditions. You just have to go play the game, especially if the conditions change during the game. I just think those conditions in that game had some effect on the game, because you don't get to play like you want to play. Sometimes you have to play the game differently when the weather's like that.
So that was Kirby Smart, obviously being
that
very
was the most
complimentary.
lame mess I've ever heard in my life. Come on, Kirby.
I mean, what do you mean? I mean, how was that lame? He was basically saying, obviously Ryan Grubb appears to be confident with Ty Simpson there.
Well, then why was Florida State able to do all the stuff they did?
So real quick, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here early. Yeah, no, he had mentioned in his other press conference initially that obviously because you look at game one versus the other games with Ty and what they were able to do offensively. He was just saying you got to take into consideration the field conditions and whatnot. Obviously, that probably had an impact on a number of things that they were trying to do. So he just was saying, as a coach, that's something he does take into consideration. But anyway, that being said, we do got to get out of here a little early today just because we combine breaks. So, George, if you want to hang on the phone lines for the next show, you're more than welcome to. I'm so sorry. We're flooded on the phone lines. We didn't even get to play a number of the things that we anticipated. So we'll do that tomorrow. But we do anticipate being joined by Roman Harper of SEC Network tomorrow. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I'll let you know the timing as soon as we get that figured out. Don't forget about our friends that are over at R&R Cigars. Again, 2703 Gary Fitz Street, the mansion. You can find them best humidor in the Southeast. Over 160 bourbons for you to try. Plus, you can always go on their website, rnrcigars.com, code Miller's Edge, plus other free shipping and things that they offer on the website as well, rnrcigars.com. Again, that is R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. You got any final comments? I mean, I know you're probably planning on being on here tomorrow with Roman as well, and we'll definitely deep dive into this matchup. Again, I was hoping we could do it today, but again, We went phone calls. It's no big deal. We love going to the people. So,
yeah, I'll be at home for the whole thing tomorrow. So good.
Yep, sounds good. We'll definitely do a deep dive before we head into Friday, the final day before this big matchup. Again, Alabama traveling to Athens this Saturday, and obviously it's college game day, right? I mean, I think it's I don't have the confirmation. I didn't really pay attention to that. Is that clear, Reed? It's game day, right?
I think so, but we'll have to check on that for sure.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was about to say I didn't want to say that and be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. But anyway, it's going to be a big one. We all know that. Looking forward to it. That being, oh wait, Dwight said no, it's not. Dang.
I was going to say if it's not Georgia, Bama, then it might be Penn State, Oregon.
Oh yeah, that's right, because that's what the top 5 matchup, something like that. Fair enough. SEC Nation. All right, good deal, Dwight. With that being said, we got to get out of here. We'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow again. Roman Harper should be on the Show SEC Network. We'll talk about it right here on the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store. America's Art Support Experts, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We'll see you guys tomorrow.